Hi, I'm Kevin from Kevin's Landscape Company, and I'm going to show you how to use the timer. This is a Rainbird TM2 timer, and the one we use on all of the homes that we landscape. So this has the ability to have, this has 3 different programs on it, an A, a B, and a C program. Those programs basically differentiate how often and how frequent the water comes on. So we have 2 programs on the typical homes that we use. We use the A and the B. And A, station number 1 is the shrub, and B, station number 2 is the trees. And I'll explain that here a little bit as we go further. This is the program select button, and right now we have it on program A. And we are going to go to the start times, and we're going to tell program A what time to come on. And this comes on currently at 5 a.m. in the morning. The neat thing about this is it has the ability to come on 4 different times. So although we normally don't use that unless it's the middle of summer, or if we plant a grass lawn or we do pots, we normally just water 1 time during the cycle that we water, and that would be the first time, and it comes on at 5 a.m. in the morning. Then we would want to know how long the station runs for. We go to the run time, and station number 1, and you'll remember that A, station number 1 is the shrubs, and that is running for 45 minutes. Now when we go to number 2, we notice that that is off because we have 2 programmed on the B program, which won't come on as frequently. So number 2, number 3, number 4 are all off. So we know that it comes on at 5 a.m. It runs for 45 minutes, and now we want to find out how often it waters. So we're going to go to the water days, and we see that there's a raindrop under every single day of the week. Now to change that, we can either hit the minus button, and it automatically goes through the day of the week. So now we would not be watering on Monday. We can go back and turn that back on, and this is the back button. What I prefer to do is set this to water on the skip days program. And by hitting the minus button, you're going to get to this here. You're going to see the water here. We're going to go back till this blinks, and we're going to reduce that to 2. So now it's going to water every other day on the A program. Now, let's go back to automatic. We're going to go to the B program, and we're going to go back to start times. Now, B is an independent timer than A, and it comes on, you can see it also has 4 different start times, and the first time it comes on is 7 a.m. One thing to note here is that they don't conflict with each other. So we remember that A, we'll go back to A, comes on at 5 a.m., runs for 45 minutes, and B comes on at 7 a.m., so they don't conflict with each other. The second, the third, and the 4th time that B comes on is off, so we have it only coming on 1 time per day. The run times, you'll notice that 1 is off, and again, I'll refer back to this chart. Number 1 is on the A program. B is, number 2 is the trees. So we're going to go to number 2, and that waters for 1 hour. It's a little longer water cycle because the roots of the trees are a little bit longer. 3, 4 are off, so we're still back to number 2. The water days, this is watering for once every 3 days, and we can adjust that seasonally as we need to, but for right now, that's the way I want to leave that set. Sometimes we'll put a C program in if there's a pot valve, which we don't have here, but if we put a pot valve in, that would be on the C time, and you'd have to set the start times, you'd have to set the run times, which would be station number 3, and you'd have to set how often you'd want it to water, which would be every day. One nice thing about this timer is you can shut it off during rain. If you get a lot of rain and we want to shut the timer off, when you do shut this off, then you turn it back on, whoops, it will resume its normal function and work just the way that it did. It'll pick up right where it left off. On some of the larger homes, we might install an ME3 timer, which is another upgraded timer that Rainbird makes, and it has 4 different programs on it. So it has an A, B, C, and a D, which is a nice feature if you've got grass and pots and other things in the yard that require different waterings. But it programs exactly the same way that this was, exactly the same way that this does. There's no difference other than there's 1 extra step because you have a D program. They do have a really cool feature on here So the Wi-Fi accessory goes right here. It plugs right up into here like this. It's a little unit. You can get it at one of the local stores. There's a little QR code here, but it plugs right into their thing right there. And there's a little help QR code right there that'll load all the information you need to right onto your phone. And you'll be able to set this thing right from your phone. And the neat thing about this is that you can invite me as a guest through the app. And if and anytime you make a change on that on the timer, like set it to water for 1 minute every 45 days, I'll get a notification and be able to call you and say, hey, did you mean to do this? You might be out of town. If you are, then I can make that change right from my computer or there at my desk. There's no battery needed to change in here. It's all a volatile memory battery, so it automatically will save the program, and that's it.